Man, what a day. So today's been one of those days where everything's weighing on me. I woke up and my thoughts felt heavy. I decided to put together this idea where I share with you guys, in my opinion, the 7 truths that I've learned over the last 14, 15 years about being an entrepreneur. So tonight, we're gonna go on a drive, and I got 7 things I wanna share with you guys about my journey as an entrepreneur. Maybe some of you guys are considering starting this journey, and you need some advice. Maybe some of you guys are further along in this journey, and you need somebody to relate to. So we're gonna go for a drive. I'll probably go for an ice cream. And I got 7 things written down that I want to cover and I want to get real and raw about. Because unlike what they show you on Instagram, every day is not like that. Every day isn't a win in our mind. It might look like a win externally, but it's not a win in our minds every day. And today I woke up feeling heavy, so I decided to make this video and give you guys a real raw truth. Just trying to get out of the parking garage here. By the way, if you guys are new to the channel or already been in the channel, I like interacting with you guys. So if you guys, if anything that I share with you guys today resonates or you guys have any questions about it, leave a comment below. I'd love to chat with you guys about it. Truth number 1 I want to talk to you guys about: winning doesn't feel like winning, right? I had a conversation with an old friend yesterday. Basically, we were chatting and she goes, "You're doing so good. I see you, I see your Instagram, I see your results, the life that you're living, and you're doing everything you ever wanted to." And she's right. Everything that I am now, everything that I'm a part of, the way that I live my life, the things that I've accomplished, even just 4 years ago, everything's a dream come true. But the truth about entrepreneurship and continuing to want to be in the 1% and be successful is that winning doesn't feel like winning, right? And just to give you guys context, I started my first company in 2011. It's 2025, I'm 28 years old. In 2021, I had my first 6-figure year, and ever since then, I've made well over $2 million in between being a realtor and now in the coaching space. So I've been through a decade of being broke. I've been through a decade of not winning. Right, I've been through a decade of just trial and error, and now thankfully, I had a breakthrough with real estate, and I've had multiple 6-figure years, and this is going to be my first 7-figure year as an entrepreneur. And the truth is, guys, winning doesn't feel like winning. Like on paper, everything that I've done over the last several months is huge progress. I wake up every day, I'm very disciplined. I go to the gym when I don't want to. I record content when I don't want to. I show up for my students when I don't want to. And that's winning. But if you're a winner, you're always doing the things that you don't want to be doing. That's why winning doesn't feel like winning. And I think that's a hard truth you need to swallow. If you really want to be successful as an entrepreneur long term, not a 1, 2, 3, 4 year run. If you want to have a 10-year run, you have to understand that when you're really winning, you're doing boring shit over and over again. You're being consistent, and you're not going to see the progress. You're not going to see the wins. People on the outside are going to think you're winning, but in your mind, you're fighting a battle. You're fighting demons every single day. Do I give up? Am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? That's what fucking winning feels like. That is the real, raw truth of what winning is. It doesn't feel like winning. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want to win, you want to have success, you want to make money, you want to help people around you, get used to feeling like you're not winning. Some of the biggest, and I'm going to go on a rant here, man. So if you guys are watching this video, sit back, grab some popcorn and chill. I'm going to give you guys some real raw shit. When I started this journey, this real estate journey in 2020, I had some really big goals. I wanted to make 6 figures. I wanted to become a top producer. I wanted to get awards. I wanted to get trophies. I wanted to get 6-figure wires. And all that shit happened. And when all that shit happened, it didn't feel like I thought it would, right? And I'm gonna skip to truth number 7 here, because I feel like I want to flow with it. money won't fill the hole. If you guys think that when you make money, when you close this big deal, when you finally have this big breakthrough, that's when you're gonna be happy, you're so wrong. Right now, I'm driving a Mercedes-Benz AMG GLE 63S. I had this car taped onto my Honda Civic roof right here. I had it taped, right? And I dreamt about this car. I dreamt about tonight. I dreamt about tonight, if I'm being honest.
AMG, what can I do for you?
Hold on. AMG's trying to talk to me. Nothing. You can't do anything for me right now. I dreamt about this car. I dreamt about creating content. I dreamt about having an audience. And the day I bought this car, I had another Mercedes before this, but the day I bought my first Mercedes AMG, it felt great for a week, 2 weeks. Don't get me wrong, I love driving this car. I want to have a Lamborghini SVJ. I want to have all these nice things, but I used to think that I had to wait until I bought my jet ski, until I could fly first class, until I made $20,000 in a month to be happy. And that couldn't be further from the truth. Happiness comes from, and the best moments of my life come from being with my family, hearing that my family members are proud of me, getting text messages from my students saying that they closed the deal and that I've impacted them in a positive way. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that money hasn't changed my life in a positive way, that I don't need money, that we don't need money. But I want you to know that money's not gonna fill that hole. You don't have to wait until you make money to be happy. You don't have to wait until you make money to enjoy your family, your friends, your experiences. You don't have to wait until you make money to be happy, to have experiences. And I want you guys to know that, because even myself, like on a day like today, I'm living my dream life. I live in Miami. I make more money than, 99% of people. And there's still some days where I wake up feeling heavy, and I wanted to, sorry for all the bumps, guys. I wanted to come on here and make this video because I feel like people need to hear it, Everything on Instagram looks so good and all. And it's some days are tougher than others, And I want to make sure that one of the truths you guys know about entrepreneurship is that money doesn't fill the hole. Chasing money, it might be your North Star in the beginning. My North Star in the beginning was getting a condo and getting this car and being able to go buy a designer and a Rolex, right? That was my North Star. And the second I got that, I realized that wasn't enough to keep me pushing to my next mission. And my next mission is obviously taking care of the people around me, my family, and being able to impact, to be honest. Truth number 2, money doesn't fill you. Truth number 3, this is a big one. It's not about being smart. It's about not giving up. Fun fact for you guys, I was the lowest graduating, let's read this real quick. Oh my God, that's fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. You guys are gonna
traffic event ahead.
You guys are gonna watch this part of the video and be like, oh, he's just another Miami asshole. This car is fun, don't get me wrong. Don't get my words twisted. But truth number 3 is it's not about being smart, it's about not giving up. Fun fact for you guys, I was the lowest graduate in my high school class. I almost didn't graduate high school. School was very tough for me. I couldn't focus. I wasn't interested. My mind was on bigger things. I tried college for 2.5, 3 years. It didn't work out for me. Not because I wasn't smart, it just wasn't my focus. And to be honest, entrepreneurship is not about being smart, guys. It's not about having the best idea. I don't even know where I'm going. It's about not giving up. It's about focusing on one thing for the longest period of time without giving up. It's about being persistent. It's about handling pressure. It's about handling stress. It's about seeing a vision that nobody else can see and pursuing it, even when it is obvious that you should stop. My first business, I started it when I was 14 years old in high school. I was wholesaling chargers, portable chargers, headphones. I've started every business under the sun, and I'm not the smartest person. I have courage. I've taken big risks that a lot of people wouldn't take. I see money in a different way than many people see money. And I've been doing this longer than anybody else has been doing it, and I'm very focused on one thing, I am very much not amused by shiny objects. I'm very, especially for the last 5 years since I got licensed in real estate, very, very focused on one thing. You cannot veer me off of my path. And that is a characteristic of a successful entrepreneur. You don't have to be smart. There's so much leverage, there's so much technology, there's so much AI. There's always somebody that does something that you don't know how to do, and they do it at a very high level, and it's so easy to connect with them now. All you have to do is get good at one thing. My thing is communication, sales, persuasion. That's all I do. I focus all of my time and energy on creating content, making sales calls, and moving my business forward. And I've thankfully now, after trial and error, been able to find an amazing partner that helps me move my business forward and aligns with my vision. This has nothing to do with being smart. One of the other truths that I have here, truth number 6, the more income you want, the more pressure and stress you have to handle. That's all it is. If you want to achieve new income ceilings, you have to be able to handle pressure and stress. That is all it is. You have to, it's not even about handling pressure or stress. It's about perceiving it in a different way. Like if you put my life on paper, my expenses, my bills, my day-to-day decision-making processes, you'd probably get stressed out. But my perception of it is not stressful, it's opportunistic. Everything that I do is an opportunity. And the more money that I've made when I first started real estate, my first 5K month, then my first 10K month, 15, 20, 50, 100. The only stuff that changed was my ability to perceive pressure and stress in a different way and manage it and overcome it and solve more problems for more people. You have to understand that this is not a game about being smart. It's not a game about inventing the right thing at the right time. It's not even about timing. It's about how long can you stay in the activity without giving up, and how much are you willing to handle on your plate without getting overwhelmed. And something that I'll tell you guys is my nervous system, I went through a lot of stuff as a kid. I saw a lot of shit that I wasn't supposed to see. My nervous system wasn't trained to handle this kind of pressure as a baby. But as I grew up and went through stuff as a kid in my early teens, I guess I was forced to learn how to handle pressure and stress. I don't even know where I'm at right now in Miami. All right, we're gonna drive with a purpose now. We're gonna try to go to maybe McDonald's and get an ice cream. All right, nobody here is born with the ability to handle stress or pressure, but you go through certain things in life that make you grow as a human being. And I was put through a lot of stuff as a kid, seeing certain family stuff happen that really affected me, and it made me understand what real pressure was, having to make an investment in yourself, buy a mentorship, buy a course, payroll, all these different things that happen now. It's not pressure anymore, it's just an opportunity. So you have to understand that if you really, really, really want to grow and survive and thrive as an entrepreneur for a long period of time, you have to be able to handle pressure and stress. Truth number 4. Let's go back to truth number 3. Truth number 3 is people won't understand you. You have to understand this, okay? If you're trying to get to somewhere you've never been, you're gonna have to do things you've never done. If the people around you, your family, your mom, your dad, your siblings, your friends, have not had the results that you want to have. Let's say you want to make $200,000 a year as a realtor for the first time ever, and nobody in your family, your friend circle, or people that have done this goal. They're gonna think that you're insane. They're gonna think that what you're doing, the mentorships that you're gonna have to get into, the masterminds you're gonna have to get into, the disciplines that you're gonna have to develop, the habits you're gonna have to create, they're gonna think you're crazy. And what's funny is that the period of time from when you decide to start being that person that has those results to the period of time where you actually get a tangible result is years, months, years, sometimes decades. And you have to be okay with the fact that people are not gonna understand you. You're gonna disappoint people for a little bit of time. I had to disappoint my mom temporarily to make her proud forever. I'm gonna say that one more time. I had to disappoint my mom temporarily to make her proud forever. My mom wanted me to go to college. I had been doing entrepreneurship for over 10 years and I had nothing to show for, no results. She sat me down one day and said, "Mijo, this is not working out for you. This is not your gig. This is not your thing. You should maybe go to college." And I did. I tried to go to college, but the burning desire inside of me that knew I was destined for more was more than her desire to want me to go to college. And I sat her down one day and I said, Mom, look, I know that right now it's impossible to see what I'm seeing, but I am going to be a very important person in this world one day. And I just, whether you trust me, whether you believe me or not, I'm gonna go after this dream and this vision. And I had to disappoint her. It was disappointing for her. She cried. And I tried another few set of businesses from that moment forward before I got my license, and I failed those as well. And I was always the outcast of the family. Whenever I would go to like Thanksgiving dinners for years, man, oh, what happened with that new idea? Oh, it failed again. Oh, what happened with that idea? Oh, it failed again. And this was year after year after year where I was the only one that saw this vision. Me driving my dream car, me living my dream life, me traveling from place to place, speaking on stages, impacting people. I saw that. That was my vision, and it was years of people not understanding me. If you're not willing to go through that, this is not for you. Do something else. I need you to understand though, and I'm gonna say this before I get into the next truth, it's worth it. This is worth it. Like now I get to speak on stages, what I meant earlier by disappointing my mom temporarily to make her proud forever. I get to speak on stages now, and she's been in the crowd sometimes, and she sees the impact that I have on people, and that makes her very, very proud. If you're watching this video and you're younger and you want to have that feeling, you have to go through some shit, man. There's a reason why only a small group of people ever get these kinds of results, because it's so hard to go through what you have to go through to get here. Understand that, guys. People will not understand you for a long period of time. The next truth fits right in. The better you get, the bigger you get, the more money you get, the lonelier it feels. Every time you level up, every time you get into a different level of income, there's less people there. So it's not lonely at the top. There's people at the top, but it will get lonely for a certain period of time, especially during the period of time where you're becoming the person you need to become and you don't have the results yet. So like you can't relate with your old friends anymore, but you also can't relate with your new friends yet because you don't have the results. That's a very difficult point in time. But I need you guys to understand, like I've gotten so, I don't know if you're religious or not, and I'm not gonna make this religious, but gotten so much closer to God the last few years because it gets lonelier, man. I don't want to have conversations with people that don't want to talk about growth. I don't want to have hangouts with people that don't want to talk about getting better. And sometimes you get to an income level where having conversations with your old friends, it doesn't make sense anymore because they feel like you're bragging, but you're really just telling them about your life. So you have to, everything's a trade-off. Hormozy says it all the time. Everything's a trade-off. You want this, you got to give up that. You want this, you got to give up this. Everything is a trade-off, and I'm in a phase of my life where, yeah, I have all these followers, and a lot of people that look up to me. I have a lot of students, but it feels lonely sometimes because not a lot of people understand where I'm trying to go. Like, yeah, I've hit a lot of the goals that I've wanted to hit, but I'm still nowhere near where I want to be. So like, my vision is still so big, and the amount of people that can understand and grasp that, it's still such a small group of individuals. And the bigger you climb, the more levels you achieve, the less people there are in that bracket that you can relate to. And that's the truth I want to share with you guys. This shit is not for everybody. It's lonely. You're gonna lose that. This is on my list, but you're gonna lose a ton of friends. You're gonna disconnect with some family members. You're gonna disappoint and lose track of some people along this journey, man. But again, you gotta ask yourself, what am I willing to give up to get what I want? You know, how many sacrifices am I willing to make to get what I want? We're running into some traffic here. Let's see how we get through this. I hope this has been helpful so far. I want to keep this right around the 25-minute mark. I'm gonna wrap this up here in a second. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to my channel. I'm a real estate sales coach, and that's mainly what I talk about. You know, sales, persuasion, objection handling. But I wanted to come on here and make this video so you guys can get to know me a little bit more. I'm feeling heavy today, man. I have a big event coming this weekend, and I want to make sure it's the best event it could possibly be. I really care about what I do, and I'm being very consistent lately. And sometimes the progress, you can't see it, you can't even feel it. You're doing it, it's just so boring. You're waking up every day, you're going to the gym, you're eating right, you're creating the content, you're putting in the repetitions, and you just don't see the results, you know, but you gotta keep digging, you gotta keep going, and some days it's gonna be heavier than others. And today's one of those days, so I wanted to make this video. Truth number 5, you'll always feel behind. That couldn't be closer to the truth. I always feel like I'm behind, and the craziest part is that I've asked ChatGPT, like, where am I at in my age bracket income-wise? I'm in the top 1% of 1% earners in my age bracket, and even people double my age. I can't tell you guys that I ever feel like I'm ahead. It's a characteristic of a winner. I always feel like I'm struggling. I always feel like I'm behind. If I do everything I wanted to do that day, I always feel like I could have done more. And like we talked about earlier, like winning doesn't feel like winning. I always feel like I'm behind, and that's what helps me always stay ahead. Feeling like you're always behind helps you always stay ahead, and it's honestly not something that I can just turn off. I can't just shut it off and stop feeling this way. If you're truly a winner, you can relate to this. You're always gonna feel behind. It always feels like there's something else to do, and listen, a part of me some days is like, yo, you gotta be grateful. You gotta close your eyes, and you gotta look at how far you've come, you know? Sometimes I go on my camera roll and I just think about the old days. You know, I used to carry fucking golf bags for $100 a day. And I used to wash cars. My mom told me the other day, this one was deep. I was at my sister's engagement party, and she said that, started telling me the story of the day that I was selling water bottles on the side of the street in 2018. I was hosting a car wash at my mom owns an orchid store in Miami, and I was hosting a car wash, and I only had 2 cars come through, made like $20, and I had bought water to give every person that bought a car wash, and I had like 35 water bottles left, and I just started slanging these water bottles on the side of the road, and that was a low point for me, man. You know, I was at a point where I had been doing entrepreneurship for like 8 years, and I didn't know if I was gonna make it or not. I was at a low point for sure, and my life is very different now, you know, and I look back at that, and I feel grateful that I'm living the life that I'm living now. But you always have to have a sense of urgency to keep getting more and keep building, because at the end of the day, like, what is the big goal? The big goal is to help other people. The big goal is to be able to provide for my family, my future kids. And when you always have this sense of feeling like you're behind, you're always going to make sure you do everything to make sure you stay ahead. This shit's not for everybody, man. I make a lot of sacrifices on a daily basis that nobody can imagine, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well, but it's worth it. If you're watching this, if you stay till the end, I believe in you. I hope this video helped a little bit. I'll be making more of these videos, you know, when I get ideas, and I want to give you guys the real raw truth. I don't want to be known as that entrepreneur in Miami that flexes his fucking sports car and, you know, has a rooftop balcony, which I do. I have all of that, right? I love it, but I don't want to be known for that. I want to be known for being transparent, authentic, and sharing with you guys the real raw truth of what this life is. You know, I could be on vacation. I could be traveling right now. I could be hanging out and living a life, right? Because I make that kind of money. But I want to keep growing. I want to keep building. And this is the truth. This is the real trenches. And I hope these truths shed some light and give you guys some clarity. See you guys soon.